teacher, is it lunchtime?
No, Billy, we just started class. Now please sit down and—
I can do a backflip. Have you watched Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie where Sonic fights Eggman and—
Billy, sit down. That's what I thought having ADHD was like. And I was never like that. I could sit still in class just fine, as long as I could doodle while the teacher was talking. And I always turned in my homework on time. I just waited till the last possible minute to do it. And sure, I struggled in physics class, and I felt so stupid for not getting it like everyone else, but I'm a cartoon character now. I don't need physics. I don't need bones either. As far as I knew, ADHD was a little boy problem, and being prescribed drugs for it, that meant it was serious. So how the heck was I diagnosed with ADHD? I think I'm addicted to carrots. What? Well, I can't concentrate unless I'm constantly snacking on carrots. I really like how crunchy they are, but they need to be cold, so hold on. That's not an addiction. I think you might have ADHD. Carrots give you ADHD? No. Let's get you tested. Now I thought my therapist was being so random. Maybe you have ADHD. But my psychiatrist saw it too, so she did an assessment. She asked me things like, how organized are you? Well, I'm a Virgo, so very. I set like 4 alarms every day to remind me to do stuff. How often do you displace or lose things? Well, sometimes, but I have a system. I have a special bowl for my keys right here. But my backup spot is in the freezer. Wait, those aren't my keys.
I'm Opera, the sponsor of today's video.
Cool. Have you seen my keys?
Oh yes, Opera has themes. You can customize your entire browser to your heart's content. We've got Cyber Room, Mizumi, animated background, sound effects, dark mode, light mode.
That's great, Opera. But I said my keys.
Split screen? Right this way. Just drag them down and look. Now you can compare different pages by splitting them 4 ways, not just 2. Resize the tabs. Make them horizontal or vertical. Or
Opera, darling, my keys.
Oh, like music? Opera has a really cool detachable player built right into the browser. That way you can listen to music from 7 different streaming services without any interruptions. It even pauses by itself when you start watching videos.
Okay, I'm just gonna retrace my steps.
Opera does that too. Tab traces help keep track of your most recently viewed tabs with the helpful little underscore. The darker the line, the more recently visited. It's great if you're someone who uses like 30 tabs.
Opera, I really don't. Oh, there's my keys. Huh. Well, there you have it, folks. If you're looking for a super helpful browser, download Opera today for free using my link below. Okay. Do you fidget or have trouble sitting still? Nope. What is that? Worm on a string. Is that like a fidget spinner? No. Those are for babies. Yeah, you have ADHD.
Huh?
Now for a second, I started to believe the conspiracy that everybody's getting diagnosed with everything. They're just trying to sell you drugs. Because back in my day, there was only one kid with ADHD, and he was a kid, which I am not. Everyone knows ADHD is a little boy problem. But I guess that little boy grew up, and so did I. But wait. If he had ADHD back then, and I allegedly did too, it just wasn't diagnosed yet, why wasn't I running laps on the ceiling? People with ADHD often have low levels of dopamine, so your brain struggles to concentrate unless something of interest is involved. For example, there's this TV show I really like called Concentrate. Not from Concentrate. I see that on orange juice all the time, but I don't know what— Illy, can you repeat back to me what I just said? Yeah, something about levels of concentrate. Oh my gosh, I love Fluttershy. I know.
Concentrating is difficult for the ADHD brain without a dopamine boost. And food is one way some people unknowingly cope, especially with sugar and caffeine. So even though you aren't hungry, your brain learns subconsciously that snacking will fill that low dopamine void, thus helping you concentrate on your work.
But that doesn't mean I have ADHD, right? Like, I just need to focus better. Girl, that's the disorder. She didn't say that exactly, but ADHD isn't the OMG squirrel, I'm so random disorder like I thought and many people think it is. It's attention deficit / hyperactivity disorder. Young boys tend to show more hyperactive traits, perhaps because, well, boys will be boys. He's gonna be an athlete one day. While young girls tend to show more inattentive traits, perhaps because, "Hey, you sit down, young lady. You know better." You've heard the saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So the squeaky and annoying little boy wheels got the psychiatric evaluation grease. But us girls weren't allowed to be squeaky and annoying. So our brains had to find non-disruptive things to do instead, like secretly drawing, secretly reading, or secretly zoning out, looking all wall-eyed, thinking about ponies in physics class. We have the same deficits in our attention spans. And this was before the days of stolen reposted YouTube videos intercut with Minecraft parkour. But since our behaviors are only disruptive to our own learning, our bad grades just look like bad grades. We just need to try harder. Or maybe consider math just isn't your thing, or science, or English, or history, or school in general. But that can't be right. Look at all these other kids. They're not struggling. We just need to try harder. Try a new study technique, set another alarm, make another note so you don't forget, but still hit that same wall. And after years of trial and error, you can't help but wonder if you're just broken, or destined to be a failure. Because it doesn't end when you finish school. It follows you to work, where you struggle to pay attention during meetings. It follows you home, where you struggle to prioritize basic self-care and keeping up with your chores. And there's only so many backup bowls to put your keys in before you start to wonder if maybe something out of your control might be at play, because everyone else makes life look so easy. So that's one theory as to why we're suddenly seeing an explosion in adult women getting ADHD diagnoses. It's not a conspiracy. It's just science catching up with reality, which is how I was diagnosed with ADHD in my 20s. Well, now what do I do? It sounds like you've already come up with some coping skills. Keys in the freezer. Right. So you can continue coming up with more in therapy, and if you want, you can also try medication. Are you sure that's a good idea? We all know medications like Adderall are meant to help those with ADHD manage their symptoms for a better quality of life. However, some people who do not have ADHD somehow get a hold of this medication to use and abuse it, which I have witnessed plenty of times back in college. So what if my ADHD isn't bad enough for medications to affect me the right way? What if I sit down to do my work, but then I get an idea for like a graphic novel, and then I spend all day working on that instead of animation?
Well,
Or what if I take my meds, but before I can even get to my desk, I notice my coffee table is wobbly and it needs the perfect tiny object to balance it out. And I spend all day focusing on that, and I completely forget to eat.
Illy, this is...
Or what if I take my meds, but before I can even take a step, I realize my medicine cabinet is...
Illy?
Oh my gosh, Fluttershy, you're back!
ADHD medications, or any psychiatric medication, aren't magic fixes. This is why seeing a therapist is also recommended. That way you can keep working on coping skills and forming healthy habits and routines. If you're nervous about medications like Adderall, I could prescribe you something a little different.
So she handed me a prescription for a non-stimulant ADHD medication, which is just like Adderall, except no it isn't. Non-stimulants take about a month, maybe longer to kick in, unlike stimulants, which take like 30 minutes. Non-stimulants have different active ingredients that can cause different side effects like drowsiness, upset stomach, and dizziness, which I don't mind considering Adderall can cause anxiety, loss of appetite, and difficulty falling asleep, which I already struggle with. And because non-stimulants affect the brain very differently than Adderall, they are not typically considered a controlled Schedule II substance that if you possess without a prescription, it's a felony. And I took the DARE pledge in 5th grade. I dare to not do drugs. And what if I forget my prescription slip? I don't want to get in trouble. So I picked up my non-stimulant ADHD medication, went home, and waited for it to kick in. Oh my God, this place is a mess! Oh, one sec, this photo is a little crooked. I gave him the old college try. Not that college try. I took my medicine for a month or two and waited for the focus to find me, but it wasn't very effective, and it made my tummy hurt. So at my next appointment, I told my psychiatrist I wasn't sure if this medication was the right fit for me.
Well, you're...
Hey, I took the DARE pledge. I was just gonna say your shirt's on backwards. Oh, all jokes aside, my psychiatrist understood this diagnosis was a lot to wrap my head around. She took my questions and concerns seriously, and I never felt pressured to do anything I wasn't ready to do. So I went home with a second non-stimulant medication to try. This one worked a little better. I still had to set some reminder alarms to leave on time, but not nearly as many as before. My dishes still piled up now and then, but I got to them a lot sooner. sooner. And I wasn't using up all my energy to stay focused during conversations. Just some energy. This medication wasn't perfect, but it did make a difference, which I struggled to accept. I was still in denial about my diagnosis, because I knew if any ADHD medication improved my quality of life even a little bit, then that would mean I really did have ADHD, which means I've always had ADHD, and all the struggling and self-hate and self-blame I put myself through didn't have to happen, but it did. And there's nothing I can do to make up for all that lost time. But just because I was unknowingly struggling with ADHD for the majority of my life, that doesn't mean I have to keep struggling. So the next time I saw my psychiatrist, I told her, I think I'm open to trying Adderall. All right, just know it'll be much different than your previous prescriptions. You'll need to show your ID when you pick it up. You need to avoid these foods that could cause harm if ingested at similar times. And if you lose your prescription, you cannot get a replacement refill, no matter what. Do you understand? The idea of taking Adderall makes me feel like a criminal or something. A lot of people with ADHD have mixed feelings about their prescriptions. These are serious medications after all, but their purpose is to help brains like yours in a careful and controlled manner. Maybe you try it and you don't like how it makes you feel and we stop. That's okay too. So with my Adderall prescription secured and my courage as high as I could manage, I went home and prepared for the scariest day of my life. Well, here we go. Man, I should really clean this place up. It was crazy, man. I did the dishes, I got my work done, I made it to my appointments on time. I was a freaking maniac. A productive, focused, brain calm, and not sidetracked by random things maniac. I did experience some difficulty falling asleep after a few days of taking it, so my psychiatrist and I agreed I could take my Adderall once daily as prescribed, or just half a pill, or no pill at all. My dosage is low enough to do this safely, but this is something only a doctor and a patient can decide together. It still hurts my heart to know that had I been diagnosed as a kid, my life might have been different. Although we can't go back in time, I'm really proud of us undiagnosed ADHDers for the creative ways we figured out how to get by. With or without medication, we're pretty open to trying something new. If we get stuck, we're great at thinking outside the box. And if things don't work out, we keep it moving. On to the next hyperfixation. We're creative, adaptable, and most of all, resilient.